So today we're talking about a question that I get all the time, and this is the last part in this 5-part series about starting a practice. And really, it's how should I have everything set up? It's kind of the big picture. What are the things that you need to be thinking about, looking at? All of that as you're starting a practice, all those different elements. If you haven't heard the previous 4 episodes, they're really great episodes. Also, if you have your own questions that you want to go deeper on around starting, growing, scaling a practice, leaving, selling a practice, go over to practiceofthepractice.com/ask Joe. We have a form right there where you can submit your question. And if it's selected, we'll say your name on air, ask your question. It's a great way to have your particular question just be part of the content we create. We're doing 4 episodes a week right now. Latoya's been rocking out Fridays in May, and we're going to be just keep doing some awesome content for you. Also, in the fall, we've got Killing It Camp, which is the private practice conference. You're going to hear more about that as we kind of move into that. We're at the time of this recording still planning out where that's going to be, when that's going to be, kind of how that's going to look. So some really cool stuff coming up. We just try to support you as best as possible in your private practice. So there's 3 main areas we're going to talk about for you to think through logistically. And actually, I made an infographic back in 2012, and it's still applicable, that walks through a lot of this. It's available on our Pinterest page, which you may not have followed Practice of the Practice on Pinterest, but it's been repinned and viewed over 500,000 times. This was something that I had the idea in the middle of the night. I literally wrote it down on a napkin. It's just so cheesy that it's a napkin. And then I went and designed it in Word. I had no design skills. I'm so glad I put Practice of the Practice at the bottom of it because it's been repinned so many times. It's a great driver of traffic for us. But it really looks through your first year of private practice, quarter by quarter. What do you need to be doing in these 3 areas? In the area of marketing, operations, and clinical work. Marketing, operations, clinical work. So let's talk about first year marketing. So in the very beginning, you're going to want to define your business avatar. You're going to want to build out your website, build out blog content, having a plan quarter by quarter to make sure that you get those marketing things out there. And each quarter, thinking through what's that next step for me. So once you get the website, then it's picking 1, maybe 2 social media outlets to just double down on. If your clients are on Facebook, go on Facebook. If they're on Instagram, go on Instagram. Really putting a lot of effort into 1, maybe 2 social media outlets. Also working on your SEO, maybe even hiring an SEO company to help you with your SEO, really focusing on that marketing. And so over that first year, we're wanting to make sure that you're connected, make sure that you're networking, make sure that you're have a plan quarter by quarter in regards to what that marketing looks like. In the previous Ask Joe episode last Wednesday, I dug deep into the exact plan. So you're going to want to follow that plan quarter by quarter. The next area that we want to look at is in regards to operations. And so thinking through the basics of it. And so in most states, this is going to be an LLC or a PLLC. In some states, they require an S Corp. So you want to make sure that you chat with a local attorney that understands your state's laws. File that type of business because you want a separate entity from yourself. You want that legal separation so that people can't sue you personally for the things you're doing within the business. And so you're going to have a bank account in that business's name. You're going to have a credit card, most likely in that business's name, or at least a debit card. Maybe you're anti-credit and credit cards and Dave Ramsey, whatever. Do whatever you want. It's your business. So then you're going to want to have that link in to a QuickBooks account so you keep track of all those expenses. Even recently I purchased a vacation rental, and we're in the middle of fixing it up. So there's a lot of expenses there. So keeping track of the furniture I'm buying for that, the painting fees, all those different things, I can take all of that off of the income, the money that comes in. And so making sure that you're keeping track of that and doing a good job with that. That's gonna all kick into QuickBooks. Just use the small book or the small business one that's like $12 a month. I feel like I set up an affiliate link for that, but I don't. I think it's practiceofthepractice.com/QuickBooks. Oh, we do have practiceofthepractice.com/LLC. Swift Filing is a great company that will help you with filing your legal paperwork in your state. We're not attorneys, we're not accountants. Just speaking from personal experience. My attorney makes me say that all the time. So then, after you get some of those logistical things, you're going to want to look at how do you get paid. Are you billing insurance? You're going to definitely want some sort of EHR, like therapy notes, where you're walking through that. You're keeping track of it. You may even have a biller that's billing the insurance companies. That may be a great investment, so that you're not having to do all that billing. Maybe you do want to do the billing. Making sure that that money then flows in through the account and is kept track of, setting up that payment solution, whether that's through a therapy notes or through some separate system, and then making sure you're keeping track of that, and then looking at your office. Do you want to have an actual office? Are you doing it virtually? Where are you doing the actual therapy? So we get kind of the money things set up, we get the business and legal things set up, we get the office and the operations, getting the phone number set up, all of those things. And then as you continue to move through it all, to then evaluate, do I like these systems? Are they working for me? Are they not working for me? And then the last area we want to look at is in regards to clinical. Making sure that you know who you're trying to serve, the specialty area, growing in those clinical skills, finding those areas that you want to improve, extra trainings. To me, extra trainings are important for your own development. Clients, for the most part, could give a rip. They don't need to see more letters after your name. They assume that you are a professional because you are a professional. But there are a handful of things that really can help your business. So being EMDR certified and going through that process, in almost every community, there's not enough EMDR therapists. Going through, the Gottman training or EFT or other things like that, where you're growing in your skills because you want to. You want to feel like a solid clinician. That's a great reason to go through it. If you're doing it just because you think it's going to attract more clients, in most situations, it's really not going to. They're not going to care that much that you spent 2 years getting EMDR certified. But there may be areas that you find, what, I'm getting a lot of people asking for these types of referrals, and that's not something I offer yet. Do I want to do that? Do I want to hire someone in house that can become a clinician with me to do it? What do I want to do in regards to that? So that can be a really helpful thing as well. Also, with your clinical, seeing what you're less interested in. Just because you started working with a certain population doesn't mean you have to. That's always a bummer for clients when you stop taking referrals around a specific niche, but it's your business, it's your life. Life is too short to work with the type of clients you don't want to work with. Over my career, I have moved in and out of many different things. I still remember when I sold my supervision business, where I was supervising 16 different clinicians, and we had group supervision and some individual, and these were folks that specifically wanted to work with me. And I sold it to another supervisor, and I recognized that doing supervision, and this was primarily at night, once a month we would meet for 4.5 hours. That was a long night, and I just wanted to be with my kids. Sometimes we outgrow certain specialties and certain times of day that we can serve people. And so if you're mostly helping kids, it can be really hard to not see them after school. But if that's what you want to do, if you want to only see kids during the day, that's your choice. That's your business. And it may work, it may not work. So, figuring out clinically what's shifting, what's changing, and continuing to explore all those different things. So, coming up with that big picture plan of your marketing, your operations, and your clinical, it's going to help you rock out your first year of private practice.